Hello my geek fam! Today another very big and influential artist in modern abstract art, and I think I will get insulted again in the comments. Hi guys! First of all, thank you for being there. Don't hesitate to like, subscribe, share and comment with your ideas for future videos. Also, if you follow some of the advice I give in my little videos, don't hesitate to post it on social media with the hashtag MGFCPaint so I can see it. Just like Michael Wilde, who did some very cute portraits of his pets, Ruby and Harlequin. Excellent. All of you continue to paint in your spare time, in your kitchen, with whatever you have. Paint as a hobby, in your retirement, anytime, anywhere. Make horrible scribbles or masterpieces, but create something. The act of creation is too serious to be left to professionals only. And so today, let's see about Mark Rothko. Another abstract painter that will, I have no doubt, attract a lot of incendiary comments in the section below. Just like Basquiat did. You see, it appears I don't do justice to abstract painters and I don't understand their message or their concept. And in a lot of ways, it is true. My focus in this series is to examine techniques and make you try some of the tricks used by painters. We saw the grisaille and washes with Rembrandt and Caravaggio. We saw the color theory with Seurat and some of the Impressionists. We saw gradients with Georgia O'Keeffe. But yes, abstract painters seem to use less techniques and rely more on the concept, the message of their paintings. There's nothing wrong with that, but in my case, because I study the styles, I end up with the envelope, but not the letter that's supposed to be inside. My theory is that when painting freed itself from the obligation of representing reality, we had a shift. The focus of artists went from the accurate representation of reality, measurements, study of anatomy, how the light bounces, etc., to the efficient communication of feelings and more abstract concepts directly to the viewer. The portrait of Mona Lisa is, well, the portrait of Mona Lisa. What you see is what you get. But in abstract art, a blank canvas with a splash of paint can represent the struggle of a minority for visibility in the cultural vacuum inherent to the post-World War years, influenced by the Marxist idea that servitude is inevitable in a society where capitalism dictates the needs and wants of human beings according to the laws of supply and demand. The content becomes more important than the vessel. And that is absolutely fine. It just doesn't work so well when you try to analyze the painting techniques, the vessel itself. Imagine Leonardo da Vinci, one of the most precise and technical painters that ever existed, discovering that one of his students, whom he took under his wing and taught everything, decides to go abstract.
Matilda, I found this. What is it?
Oh yes, I'm expressing the struggle of a minority for visibility in the cultural vacuum inherent to the post-World War years, influenced by the Marxist idea that servitude is inevitable in a society where capitalism dictates the needs and wants of human beings according to the laws of supply and demand.
But it is only a splash of paint on a canvas. Where is the perspective, the golden ratio in your composition, the color theory, the anatomic studies? Matilda, don't ever do that again or I'll break your head. Got it?
Okay.
I don't work like that. It is not professional. There are rules.
Okay.
And you stop saying okay all the time, okay?
Okay.
Good.
So this leads us to Mark Rothko. Mark Rothko, born Marcus Yakovlevich Rothkovich in 1903 in Russia, had a life as rich and nuanced as his canvases. Rothko's family immigrated to the United States in 1913, seeking refuge from anti-Jewish pogroms. This immigrant experience profoundly shaped his worldview and artistic sensibilities. As a young artist, Rothko studied at Yale University and later moved to New York City. His early works were influenced by surrealism and mythic themes. However, it was in the 40s that Rothko, along with peers like Jackson Pollock and Willem de Kooning, developed what would become known as abstract expressionism. This movement marked a departure from traditional art, focusing on the artist's emotional expression rather than a representation of the external world. Rothko's artistic evolution continued throughout his life, leading to the creation of his iconic color-filled paintings. The culmination of his career, however, was marred by personal struggles, and Rothko tragically took his own life in 1970. Rothko was a pioneer of color-filled painting, a subset of abstract expressionism that emphasized large, solid planes of color. His paintings, like number 14 in 1960, are a symphony of hues that envelop the viewer in an immersive experience. Rothko often employed stacked rectangular forms, creating an almost meditative effect. His use of color was deliberate, with layers of thin washes creating a luminosity that seemed to emanate from within the canvas. The goal? Well, to evoke a deeply emotional response, as if the colors themselves were conduits to the soul. Rothko once said, "I'm not an abstractionist. I'm not interested in relationships of color or form or anything else." His art was about human emotions, about creating a space for introspection and contemplation. So let's see how we can try to emulate the same textures, nuances in color, and translucent shapes by using washes. A wash is a very thin layer of highly diluted paint that let the background be seen through. So those who use oil paint will use turpentine, but if you are using acrylics like I do, you will dilute your paint in a lot of water. I prepared a yellow, a red, and a black. My idea is to have two rectangles, a red and a yellow, on a black background. As I mentioned, there is no concept or message in my painting. It is just a painting exercise. The rectangles will have the same width but different height, maybe around 1/3 and 2/3. This time, no priming or tinting of the canvas. I want the white to shine through the yellow and red. So, with your diluted paints, you will trace the rectangles and the outline, fixing your composition. Being diluted, the colors are not yet deep, but start mixing up with each other to give moving edges to the rectangles. Let it dry. And we are now in a game of layers. You will apply again and again the same layers and let them dry. The same? Well, yes and no. You have the possibility to change your colors, of course. Mix a bit of a brighter red or a darker yellow. You can even make a layer with completely different colors just to create nuances and subtle variations. The red and yellow will also mix with the black, creating darker regions and colors like ochre, green, purple, burgundy. You will see it's amazing to witness all these nuances come from only 3 colors. This will intensify the color of each part of the painting, but also create a kind of median edge for your rectangles. In the meantime, observe how the colors are mixing inside the rectangles. We are creating an infinitely changing texture inside the same color, and that is beautiful. Play with your colors, have fun, add a layer where some places are not dry yet. The idea is to experience all the possibilities that these washes give you. After a few layers, you will see that the rectangles are starting to get more defined because the edge will appear where there is the most of that color. The edges will, however, not be hard, but translucent. You can also add layers only on some part, only on the rectangles or only on the outline. One of the marks of Rothko was the turpentine burns. If something on his canvas was not to his liking, he would simply rub it with a cloth full of turpentine, leaving a lighter mark in that color. He used this especially to erase the corners of his rectangles and make the shapes more ethereal. In acrylic, as we are not using turpentine, simply wipe a zone that is not completely dry yet, and you will have a similar effect. When you think you have a good texture in all your colored fields, maybe try and do a last wash with the black to really seal the shapes and make a darker black on your outline. In any way, you can claim this as finish whenever you decide to. You are, as always, the master on your canvas. And there you have it, your very own Rothko-inspired masterpiece. Remember, the beauty of Rothko's art lies not just in the colors and shapes, but in the emotions they evoke. Work on your color combination, your composition, and refine this for yourself. I hope you enjoyed this exploration into the world of Mark Rothko. Until next time, keep creating and keep exploring the boundless realm of art. Cheers!